Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight as we dive back into Heroes of Hyperborea. Tonight, we have episode 11. And before we dive in, I do want to do a quick introduction. My name is Trevor. I am your referee, GM, storyteller tonight. And I am joined by two friends and one brother. And we'll start with my favorite voice actor just below me. We have...
I am Bob Carter, voice actor, voice coach, and owner of the Neighborhood Studio, where we help aspiring creatives become working creatives. But tonight, you know me as Androcles Thalassa, chronicler and cartographer of these, the last great days of the Atlantean Empire, in search of New Atlantis, or what could be the next New Atlantis.
Ooh. All right, and below Mr. Bob Carter, we have my longest known friend in the channel. We have...
Congratulations, Danny.
I ignored Trevor until he was 12.
This is true.
I can't... How do I go after Bob? I mean, you gotta put Bob at the bottom from now on, because I voiced Baraka from Mortal Kombat, and Balrog from Street Fighter 2, and villains from Dragon Ball Z. Oh, hi, I'm Danny.
You're an amazing literary professor. How about that? How about you're an amazing literary professor and not just wordsmith, but word master.
That's it.
Word maven.
I can lie to myself. So I play Brogan, the paladin. He is fond of justice and edibles, and he's
the Matthew McConaughey paladin. Yeah.
All right.
And then below Danny, we have my brother streaming all the way from Austin, Texas. We have...
Hey, Chris Bradley. I play Magos, a magician of Grecian background, who has been in a lifelong search for understanding the powers of the star metal coming from Barsoom, the other planets, and has been learning how to harness that power and utilize the energies from Barsoom. And so those travels have caused him to meet up with this party in a very northern section of town, much like Alaska. It's been an interesting few adventures. I'm excited to play tonight.
So, a quick recap. So our adventurers were in an Eskimo village known as Ryland, and from there they ran into a bit of a werewolf problem. They ran into some lichens that were kind of rampaging the town until Androcles showed up and the Roadhouse style kicked everybody out of the tavern, killed all the werewolves in town, and just let everybody know who was boss. And now the village council believes that, where there are a few werewolves are many because they run in packs, and they wanted to defend and fortify the city. And while the city is going to melt down as much silver as they can to help the guards have a fighting chance against any other lichens, they sent a detachment, a party out into the wilds to find Wolfsbane, so they could plant Wolfsbane around the town and kind of set up a hedge of protection around the town, a literal hedge of protection. So they have been traveling. They traveled for 3 days out into the Hyperborean wild, and we are in the latter part of the cycle of the Hyperborean cycle, where we're in a very cold season. We're also in a season where we only get 5 hours of daylight, followed by 13 hours. More than that. Sorry, it's 19 hours of night. I gotta do math. So that is where we are. They traveled 3 days out. They found this snow pass where strange things seem to grow, and they did in fact find the wolfsbane they were looking for. But they also found a strange cave. And as they went to investigate this cave, they sensed evil. They went in there, and inside they found a very large chunk of star metal, of meteorite. And as they went to investigate this meteorite, they were jumped by something that came out of the star metal. And that is where we pick up the action. We're in the cave. This is basically a giant, almost like a bored crater from where this meteorite fell. And they just fought this color that had come out, whether it was pink or lavender or whatever. It just kind of changed with the person that saw it. It instilled fear in those around him. Magus, when he saw this color, just this kind of this puff of smoke and color come out of this, it drove him mad, and he left the cave frothing at the mouth, while Androcles and Brogan went to fight it. They were aided by Vorpai, the warrior, the female warrior that had joined them, the Chimerian, and they all began to fight this beast, this strange color or whatever it was. They found that only magical weapons seemed to be damaging it. They were able to slay it, but not until it had drained their own energy, their own constitution. And now they all are leaning and laying and sitting on the floor, trying to gather themselves as they feel completely drained from the combat. And that is where we pick up. Is that we pick up right back in the cave. Now, right now, you've got Walian, the grandson of the leather worker who's been traveled and has become the squire of Brogan, the mighty knight of Apollo. And he dove in and instead of staying back when he saw that Magus was left the cave screaming in horror, he actually grabbed his blade, and the young boy of 12 charged into the cave to fight alongside his master. And that's kind of the scene that we pick up. Now everyone is resting and recovering inside this cave. We have two other adventurers with them. We have Hugo, and we also have Siku, and they're outside with the horses and with the cart, and they are digging up the Wolf's Bane as much as they can get on their cart, while the rest of the party rests and recovers and kind of makes camp inside this cave. So that is where we are. We pick up the action, and I want to begin tonight with Brogan. So Brogan, you are inside. You have a campfire inside this cave. The rock is there. You look over. You see Magus is pulled a couple of pieces off and is already investigating him and sitting there, kind of meditating on the stone. You see that Androcles is over. He's checking and taking care of Vorpai, the warrior who seemed to took the worst of it and is at this point completely laid out on the side of the cave. And you look over and you see Walian, the young boy, sitting there, and he's picked up looks like some roots outside of various things, and he's trying to tie them together. And he looks up to you and he asks, he goes, "Can you help me? Can I see your emblem of Apollo? I was wanting to fashion one for myself."
Oh, absolutely. I'll pull it out and show him.
And with that, he takes the dagger that you had given him, you had gifted him earlier, and he begins to try to carve a very rudimentary emblem of Apollo, using yours as an example. And you look at it and you see he's got a shape to it, but it needs some work. But he's definitely working very hard, and he's got a cord that he's fashioned from a leather strap that he's trying to make into a necklace, and he's trying to emulate you in some way of having his own emblem of Apollo hanging from his neck.
Now, Wailing, what you did was very brave. Thank you for coming in and helping. I believe it is time. You have earned this. Now, show him the Morning Star.
He hands you back the blade that I believe you were going to give over to Androcles, the magic falcata. He hands that over to you, and you gift him this Morning Star, the Morning Star that you've carried many weeks. And he goes, "Oh, thank you. This is a mighty gift. I appreciate it so much. It has felled many beasts in the name of Apollo. I will strive to do the same."
Now, you need to thank that man over there, Androcles. He's gifted me something, so I'm going to gift you something. And let that be a lesson. That's what we do with Apollo's love. We keep giving the light, spreading it.
And I will do so. And he looks over and he says, You carried a shield, and I saw that Vorpai had an extra shield on her horse. I grabbed it. Could you show me a few things on how to use a shield?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? What I'm going to be using, I won't need a shield no more. Why don't you take mine?
Oh, I would love that very much. Well, can you show me some stances and how do I parry and deflect blows with it?
Oh, absolutely. I think you're ready for it. You're strong enough.
Okay.
Let's say a little prayer to Apollo. We'll do a little meditating.
Okay. He does a little meditating. He's more listening to you and the two of you. Now, here's the thing: you are still drained, but
Right.
you're inspired by just this boy who's just striving so hard to rise above and become more than what he was, a simple helper in a leatherworking shop. So while you're exhausted and even the weight of your armor is kind of getting to you because you're just so drained, you're still trying to do the best you can to kind of give this boy some pointers and some things. Because while you're in the wild, any tip that you can give him at this point may be the difference between life and death.
Right. Right. In our downtime, I'll maybe me and Vorpai can show him some stuff.
Okay. All right, so as you're working with Wayland, we'll now move over to Androcles. And Androcles, you are checking in and talking to Vorpai, who is completely laid out on the side of the cave at this point, holding her long sword to the side and trying to use it to prop herself up. Even moving around seems to be she gets winded. You saw that this mighty warrior who had no problems carrying armor and everything, and that now after fighting whatever this color, the smoke was that came out of this meteorite, it has just left her completely drained. Like her vitality has just left her, and she looks up and goes, I need rest and drink, and I should be okay.
Understandable, as do we all. But know this, we slew this monster, this color out of space, this whatever it was, and I am eternally grateful for your steadfast and fearless presence, O mighty shield maiden. You made the difference this day. You kept us alive. Though we were all, you, myself, and Brogan, though we are all winded, greatly so, we are alive to laugh about it and drink of it. And again, you have earned a place among us this day, and I thank you for your presence.
When we get back to town, the first of many rounds will be on you.
Agreed. I'm going to do what I can to get her comfortable, and I'm going to use my backpack and prop her underneath it, and then with her permission, I'm going to put her shield underneath her, so that way it's going to give her support.
Okay.
And then I'm going to distract her with tales, historic tales of courageous shield maidens.
I should love that.
The ancient historic champion Boudica.
And as you're doing that, you're also stoking the fire that she was trying and cooking some of the food and the rations that she brought from town. You know that your time of rest in this cave is short. You didn't come. You don't have enough food for an extended. You've still got to get 3 days back. So this is going to be a short rest here this one night. So that is
plants that are around here. You said there were a bunch of alien plants and things in here, right?
Inside there's a lot of things growing here that are odd. Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and start collecting those just in case we have to eat some roots or or make something, or at the very least, just gather it for later on for interesting research. Because again, these are foreign plants. I mean, they might be alien species, alien flora. So, it's definitely going to help in some way.
Okay, you go over to go collect some of those plants. We make a poison saving throw.
Oh no!
Absolutely. Ha ha. And what with reduced con? That's going to be all kinds of fun.
No. It doesn't. Reduced con doesn't matter. So it's just. Do you get what's your save? First roll of the night, folks. First roll of the night.
All right. So 1d20.
Yeah!
Yes.
That girl is poison.
Good night.
Temporarily, you go to touch this, it singes your hand. Reduce 2 from your strength.
Okay.
This strange purple plant, as you touched it, it stings your hand, and you feel yourself, even though you're drained, your vitality is drained from this fight that you had. Now you feel like even your armor and weapons just seem to be heavy, and you start dragging the weapon behind you. So now you have both constitution damage and now you have strength damage.
Perfect. Yeah, we're gonna rest.
Okay. All right, and with that, you do manage to collect some and put it in a pouch. Wherever this strange, it's like a purple plant that you put
It's
in
2
there.
points down.
2
Okay, is my
points down.
strength- Okay, I'm at a 10 for strength.
10 for strength. So that really mathematically doesn't do a lot.
But I just
Yeah.
want you to know.
Yeah, you're fine.
Other alien plants get poisoned. All right.
All
Okay,
right.
well, that's all I'm going to do. And
All right,
just
so that's
rest.
what you're doing. But you do have 2 stalks of these purple plants. With that, we'll move over to Magus. Magus, you are sitting there and meditating on this strange meteorite. Now, this is a different type of meteorite than you've seen. And since you've been in this valley, this is the 3rd type of rock that you have found. And you believe that this comes from even a different place.
Chris, are you like cosplaying the Gorton's fisherman? What's going
I've got I'm meditating and I've got my hands on the star metal, this purple star metal that exploded in my face just earlier. And I'd like to over and over in my head, and I begin to just verbalize appear on, and I begin to summon my burning hands, and I'd like to do burning hands onto the metal, onto the rock, to see if I can't get it to turn into some type of liquid or melt in some way.
As you are doing that, the fire illuminates out of your hand, and the rock that you're holding seems to be absorbing the energy from the burning hands, the flames of Barsoom that you have summoned out of the other stone. It seems to be like almost pulling and charging that. And as you do that, you feel part of yourself almost being pulled into this stone. This is a very different feeling that you've had in other stones before. You know that it has some type of arcane energy that you can unlock, but you haven't had one before where you were normally pulling energy or something out of these stones. This seems to be pulling the energy of what you just put into it and yourself into it. Like it's almost like pulling your own arcane energy or your own, you don't understand, but you definitely feel that it's drawing more from you and around you than what you are accustomed to. It definitely
Can I pull my hands away from it?
You pull your hands away from it, but one thing that you sense immediately is that the power of that stone is greater than anything that you've encountered. And you look over and you see more of this stone here, and you realize that this may be the greatest treasure you have found because there's so much of it.
Parlor tricks. Everything that I've learned from Star Metal to this point, everything that I've been able to pull from that energy, is nothing but parlor tricks. When I experienced what I experienced when that thing came out of this rock, I saw infinity. And I saw power that I've never dreamt of and can't imagine ever wielding.
I got some stuff too that lets you see strange colors and into infinity as well. If you ever want to have that feeling again, just let me know. I'll hook you up.
You still got some of that dust from the apes?
Yeah.
That shroom dust from the apes?
Yeah.
But,
Do you really?
He does.
tell you what.
That doesn't
would
match
like-
what we
I
experience.
would like to take it. I feel somehow strange, and I would like to take that dust.
Hey, sounds good. All right.
all right,
Let's
so
pass
you
it. Pass it.
Perhaps we should wait, friend Magus. That dust will have lasting effects on you, and we are still weakened from the encounter we just had. Friend, what you've just experienced is something
you go to
powerful.
Androcles, you go to stop them, but you look over, you see what's happening. But this is happening. Brogan has handed him the mushroom dust, and Magus reaches
Like-
over and
Is it like snuff? Is he just gonna like
yeah,
like?
yeah.
Okay.
Boy.
All right. So, at the warning of Androcles, you sniff this and you immediately kind of look about and you see the cave and you begin to, all the colors in the room begin to kind of like sharpen and distort, and with that, roll a d6 for me.
Oh boy.
D6.
You have an epiphany. In this heightened state of awareness, you turn and you start pulling out your pack. And as you pull out your pack, you're going through your papers and you have this old chart, this old star chart. And as you look through that, you pull it out and you look at the color of the stone and you look at the star chart. And from there, you have a theory of where this stone possibly came from.
Or do
Can
you
I
think,
share that?
Magus?
You go over the known planets that the intellectuals of this realm believe. And as you look over this map, you look over and you see that you believe that the color and the distortion of this, you believe this may have come from Yugoth, which is the furthest planet or realm that people know of, and some people don't even know if it actually exists. There's a lot of rumors about it. In fact, it was only the Atlanteans that were ever even able to find out this thing existed. Using their strange machinations, they were able to see beyond what the normal person could see, beyond any type of arcane scrying or anything. But the Atlanteans, they had rumored that they knew of some black void, some other place out there that they called Yugoth. And you believe that the tales that you've heard of that might match where this thing came from.
Androcles, the power from the stones that I have found have come from other places or planes or stars.
It's the other
And
planet.
I've been able to pull foreign energies from them. But I believe that this has come much, much further. And the power, instead of being able to pull from it, actually pulls from others and pulls from other sources. It's as if the pull of this metal is much greater than of other stars.
Think? So is this metal from Uranus, as we saw the we saw the omens?
Have you heard of Yugoth?
Goth?
You have
course.
heard.
The dark planet. Farthest away from us.
Some
Cool.
say it's myth, but I think that we have just experienced a piece of it here. Now, how it ended up in this cave, I have no idea.
Trevor, based on what he just says, or based on what Magus just said, these plants, are they reminiscent of any of the tales that I was wondering? Based on, I was expecting us to be in the realm of Uranus, based on what we saw before, like from when we saw the Northern Lights. But if he's saying that this is from Yugoth instead, would that be where these plants and this alien flora?
It's possible. To reach those answers, you may have to find more Atlanteans, a settlement of higher learning.
Right. Well, and I'll go ahead and tell you, Magus, it is entirely possible because the plants weakened me even as I withdrew them, and you say this star metal draws from you. Is it possible that you could possible that you could use this to then absorb spells if someone were to cast them at you or at us in a defensive manner?
It is possible. I would need to spend some time with it. This happened pretty quickly with you, though. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, these plants are dangerous, so beware, my friend. I had gathered the reagents for possible experimentation or for resources in case we wanted to make soup or stew or something, in case we run out of rations on our way back home. Now we are all weakened. You are not, but Orpai and Brogan and I are truly weakened from our encounter with that colored monstrosity from Yugoth. And if it is, as you say, the star metal drains magic ability. Creature drained our health and essence, our very souls, and even these plants drained my strength. So perhaps there is a common theme from all things from Yugoth. This is merely conjecture, but again, it's something for us to research at a later
I think
date.
that's a good hypothesis. Yeah.
I
I'm going to
we
pull
can-
out BG because we always forget
Immediately.
about BG. I'm going to say, BG, does any of this look familiar to you?
And BG, I gotta pull this picture up because it's just so stinking good.
You can't not pull up BG.
Can't pull up
picture.
BG. Right? You pull up BG and BG goes and sits next to the rock that has a natural heat to it, and he kind of like snuggles up to it and kind of turns his head and he sniffs it and he kind of shakes his head like he doesn't like the smell of it. You don't smell anything, he does. So he likes the heat, but there's definitely a smell to this that he doesn't like.
Okay.
Can you give BG some of the
Some of
Stuff?
the powder?
yeah?
Oh, good God. This is quite the experiment.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's not
Let's
do
do
that.
All right, so you go and you take some of this stuff and you're not really sure. There's a little slit in the middle of his face that you can barely see. You assume it's a nose. You don't know. So you take that and you just he kind of sniffs it, and as you're sitting there and you're kind of right in his face, he reaches back and he sneezes. Brogan, make an avoidance saving throw.
This is the most ridiculous session we've ever had. I love it. All right, let me see. It doesn't matter because it's all +2. All right.
You dodge out of the way as this small flame comes out of BG's mouth as he
Is
sneezes,
Androcles behind him?
and it kind of goes over
Well, I'll
you.
go right
Just
you.
you've just very briefly this little flame. He just sneezes and this flame comes out and he kind of dodge, and everyone in the room looks. Did that dog just sneeze fire?
I look over at Wayland. Take this down. Write this down. We need more powder for BG. 'Cause we can have another weapon for us. We can use him as like a flamethrower. What do you think?
He's like a little dragon.
He's something.
Hmm.
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 But obviously doesn't come from BG's planet, it seems like. I think your hypothesis, I think we can X his planet off.
Yeah.
Trevor, based on Yugoth, do I know of any creatures or anything like that that might have been like that big monster, that Cthulhu
There is
monster that was on
virtually
BG's
zero
thing?
knowledge about Yugoth other than it possibly exists.
Okay.
It's only been seen by Atlantean scholars before the destruction, so it's only passed down in rumors and tales, and it's almost fantasized about in a way. But actual hard information, that you wouldn't know.
All right. Well, in that case, Logan, what say you, as you and I are the most preeminent explorers here, that we share our discoveries with Magus and Vorpai, since we have no other place to go and we're not going anywhere until we rest, at least for the rest of the afternoon. Let's share what we discovered when we visited the other planet. And so we'll describe our adventures when we went to the other way station, and that way we can share with Magus what we discovered. Based on everything from learning about Cycronish, learning about the different names to invoke to activate the way station. Remember, Magus, we said that if you would go with us, that we would share with you how to fish, so to speak. So we learned about Cycronish, the way station of Sithagwa, who originated from Saturn. So that one takes us to Saturn.
So that's where you found the star medal that you shared a portion with me.
I swear I also found my dog. He ain't a dog.
We found
I
BG.
don't know what your intelligence is, but
We found Sithagwa. But yes, so the command is Hakwishka.
So you've been to this. You've been
We have
to this
been
other
to
place.
the planet. We have been to Saturn, and I describe. Actually, I'll even paint the picture of what we experienced there. So, Trevor, if you'll pull that picture up, because Magus and
I don't have
Dracon
it ready, but we're gonna talk about that later. So,
No problem. Basically, I'm just going to, this is the plot discourse of the commands to make it to different planets. So, Hakwishka Cycronish. And then if you're there, yes, Hakwishka Cycronish to go there. And then to get back, Hakwishka Hyperborea. Was it Borea? Hakwishka Borea?
Hakwishka Borea. Hakwishka.
There are two other planets that were there at that way station, Serene and Phobos.
those are the moons, but yes.
There were also, and then there was also another name called Iban, E-I-B-O-N.
Now, has Magus ever heard of Iban?
Yes, you have. A sorcerer of old, and you know that he became quite powerful, and you had heard tell that he left Hyperborea in search of power. It's a story you had heard that he seemed like he got all the power he could from Hyperborea and had to leave. It was always kind of curious how he had done that.
Androcles, is it your mission to find another way station that's near here?
It's one of my missions. My mission is to find Atlanteans so that we may preserve the history and the heritage and the civilization that is so desperately needed and vital to this world. Of course, the greatness and the glory of Atlantis. In the meantime, if we need to, we can explore using these other way stations. Now, in speaking with, I'm sorry, what's the Eskimo's name?
Siku.
Siku, thank you. In speaking with Siku, I found out that just 2 more weeks further north, there's another way station here. And that's what I was asking about when we were on our journey out here. If you recall me asking about what was in the mountains.
I do. And in fact, that's what brought me here in search of more of the star metal and this power, was searching and, in fact, finding out about an Atlantean who was seemingly on the same course as I. Perhaps he, too, was looking for this way station. He's the unfortunate dead one that we passed on the way here.
The one that we buried.
Yes.
Well, again, that way station will definitely hold more answers to what we seek. And yes, it will absolutely hold more star metal for you on your journeys.
Well, we must press on. I see no reason to return back to town. If we need to send Siku with the Wolfsbane, so be it. But I am weary, but I am empowered for more knowledge and to understand more of this travel that you speak of. I cannot be waylaid by any other discourse.
Friend, we must be patient. We have a responsibility to save these townspeople.
Well, save themselves. I am here for other reasons.
Understandable, but you journey with a paladin and a man of honor.
I'm going to
And I helped you kill the slave masters.
You absolutely did, and for that I am grateful, which is why I am proud and happy to share with you not just the knowledge of these way stations, but even the commands to activate them.
I'm going to ask Siku, do you think you got enough of the Wolfsbane?
So at this point, you've had the conversation. We've had the rest. Siku and Hugo, they come in, filthy and dirty, snow and everything, and they like, tossing the shovels down as they kind of crawl into the cave and say, and Siku goes, I believe you have enough. We should rest here for a few hours and be on our way. Get some sleep if we can.
Now, Siku, you think does he need our help going back?
Yes, I believe so. Yes, it's a dangerous road.
I'm gonna look at Magus and be like, what if we send Vorpai and Boy?
Vorpai is pretty
Friends, we are all weakened. Did you forget? We are all weakened. We cannot just abandon our mission right now. I can't believe that I'm the one that must say this.
The town is counting on you to bring back the the wolf's bane.
Yeah, especially thinking back on the wolves that trailed us. Well, we probably should go back to the town, get some succor, and then
resupply.
we can head back.
Mm-hmm. We need to resupply because we're going out into the mountains.
There's not enough food, water, and provisions for that kind. And remember, Seiko says, well, you'll need climbing gear and supplies. It's a treacherous road.
Siku, you've seen this place. You could lead us to it.
It's been not since I was a child, but yes, I know the way. Yes, and I'm telling you, especially in this season, we will need more supplies. But I can put an expedition together if you would like.
Yes.
Are there others that know of this place, Siku, or are you just trying to earn more coin?
A few, yes. Hugo
we should
looks
gather
over.
them.
Huh?
We should gather those that know.
We could put together a party. But first, we must eat and rest, and all of you look weary.
We are exhausted.
So with that, we'll do a rest. So for those of you who had your constitutions drained, you gain 1 point back. And Androcles, you gain 1 point of strength back as well.
Oh, okay.
Only need about another week.
So just out of curiosity, Androcles, what's your constitution down to?
Right now, based on what we wrote down, I have 8 points left. Brogan has 7, and Vorpai has 4 points of con left.
Okay, so Vorpai is at 5.
Yeah. So now I'm at 9. Brogan's at 8, and Vorpai is at 5.
Also note that the last point, you'll have to have a restoration to get back. So it is a permanent 1 point loss once you recover.
You
Man.
jerk. Like,
Hey.
all right.
All right. So with that, we rest, we recover, we pack up, and it is moments before the sudden arrival of morning. Remember, it is not a sunrise, sunset. It is very quickly the world of Hyperborea will tilt towards the dying, bloated red sun, and day suddenly appears. And it's within those few moments of darkness that everyone is outside getting things ready. Each person getting on. Now, the cart at this point is really packed between carrying all of the leftover supplies and also all of the wolf's bane that has just been packed in there. Walian is able to get in there, now brandishing his shield and his morning star and on high alert. He sits back there with Magus. Magus, it is a very tight fit as you're trying to get on there. You do see that Vorpai is able to get up on her steed, but is kind of just dragging and winded. And in fact, the lance she has strapped to the side instead of carrying it. Her sword and her shield also side to the side, just kind of dragging as she's trying to get back home. Brogan, you managed to get up on your horse as well. Dracon, the mighty white steed, and then Androcles, you get on your horse, your black steed as well. As everyone, Bucephalus, as you as you ride.
Remember his greatness.
As you ride back out and down the ravine, as you leave, you do see the great statue that you saw as you entered in, the last king of Sarnath, that is kind of almost a marker into this past that would take you up into the mountains. Let's go back to that map so we can kind of see exactly where we are here. Where are we at here? Okay. All right. So remember, we are basically here. We're at the foothills before we get to the mountains, and we're going to be heading back down, heading south across the river, past the hills, until we get back to the frozen tundra. That is basically like the frozen lake and the island that kind of is the last route before the last day, before you get to the place to get back to Ryland. Now, over the next day, you're able to travel without much of a problem as you quickly have this 5-hour stint of day as you travel. No longer do you hear any wolves or see any issues with that. The scent of the wolf's bane is just permeating all about you, and you seem to be completely.
You said another day passed, right?
We're still traveling.
Yes, but we get those points back.
We're not. I'm not there yet.
Okay, just making sure it's the same.
He's ready. He's ready. Okay. During this day of travel, the only thing that you see is past those 5 hours into night. Brogan, you are up front. You've kind of taken lead. Vorpai is kind of lagging behind, and as you go forward,
She use that heavy crossbow, Trevor?
Say again.
She used that heavy crossbow.
Yes, she can.
In that case, I want her to stay out of melee combat because she's just so weak, and she's to use the heavy
You can
crossbow.
certainly ask her, but she's going to do it. Vorpai does what Vorpai does.
Yeah,
She'll
but she's only
definitely
got-
take the crossbow.
Yeah, she's got like 5 points of constitution.
All right. So anyway, up in front, Brogan, you're up front, and in the distance, and this is we're back in the night sky as you look over and into the frozen valley. You see the hills and the mountains both to the left and to the right as you're going, and you're following this tributary, this river back into. It'll eventually open up into this large lake that feeds into the ocean. And as you look into the distance, you see many stars. One of the stars that you see that looks odd to you is a very low-hanging red star. You see it in the distance. You don't recall seeing this before. It does seem out of place.
Androcles.
Now you have to ride back. You're in the distance.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to ride back and ask them if they see the same thing.
As you ride back, Androcles, you see him having the conversation with Vorpai as he's handing her the bow, and she takes it, the crossbow. And as you do that, you see him come up, and as he mentions this, you look up into the horizon, and you barely see it peeking over the horizon, but you do see a very a small glimmer of a red star over the horizon. Not one that you recognize.
Not at all. One that I recognize.
No.
It's only because we're this far north that we can see this red star.
You don't. You wonder if it's a star or a comet or a meteor. Not really sure what it is, but you definitely don't remember seeing this on the horizon.
Right.
What are you speaking of? I've gotten
Dragon.
off of the little sled and see them talking. What's going on?
Travels and research. Have you encountered a red star hanging low in the sky? And I'll go ahead and point to it, and I'll say it seems that we can only see it because we're this far north. Usually further south, it's one that I am unfamiliar with, and I'm not sure what to make of it.
It is.
Siku.
Siku looks over and goes, strange, I don't know. And he spits, he goes, bad omen. It's a bad omen. But you've heard him say this about 12 times since you've been on this trip.
Yeah.
Everything's a bad omen with Siku.
What's I'll forget his name, I'm sorry. I have it here.
Go,
Is it Magnus? No.
Magus.
Oh, the other man.
Hugo.
Hugo.
No, Hugo. I got it right
Hugo
here.
Weaving.
Hugo. What do you make of this?
Hugo looks up with his one good eye, and he looks up and he goes, I don't know. I'm with Siku. It's a bad omen. He goes,
Should we
he
ride
looks over
harder?
and goes, I shall pray to Sathakwa.
This is not something that I'm familiar with. It's not something that we usually see from further south or the east or from the sea. Friend Magus, in your journeys and in your research of star metal, have you ever encountered this star?
It's
The
possible
planet
that
that
it's
not-
something falling, or it could be a comet. Things move across the sky. It's very low to the horizon.
Well, if it's a comet, that would be plenty of star metal for us, Magus.
That's what I was thinking. It's typical that star metal is a result of something falling from the heavens. Of course, if we can see it from this distance, it could indeed be a bad omen.
But if it's coming to Earth, if it's along our path, Trevor, can we go ahead and aim our direction? That general.
It is heading south. It would be in the direction heading towards Ryland.
Okay. Well, then in that case, we'll head that direction.
You continue
Definitely keep an eye on it.
for the next couple of hours. You do see it in the distance. You don't seem. It just seems so small and so faint. And there's moments you don't see it anymore. And then the moment that you see it again, like it disappears. And you don't know if you're losing it in clouds or what. But there's moments you just don't see it, and then it'll pop up again. This goes on for several hours. You get to the point where it's time to rest and set camp. You find a place to camp near where you camped on the way in. Remember, Siku has like a set path he's trying to take, and it's at this point that he says we can hide here, and there's some underbrush that he has found that you've camped. It's really, like I said, it's close to where you were before. Vorpai goes and sets camp and begins to get ready to camp for the night, to give everyone a couple of hours rest. Now we will continue to do the same rotation of watch that we had before, where Androcles goes first with Vorpai, and then second is Brogan with Walian, and then finally Magus goes at the end with Siku, and then Hugo's kind of floating. So what happens during I'm kind of for the sake of brevity, we're going to go through this. So first, second, third watch goes without a hitch. You get up next, and we have a few hours before the sudden change into day. And Magus, you've spent your last morning hours researching and preparing as you do for, your incantations for the day. But you've also been spending a lot of time with this stone, and each time you're holding this stone, you feel it more pulling and tugging. And as you are holding it, you notice that its purple essence seems to glow in your hand, and you seem to have some type of a relationship with the stone already. You feel yourself almost like attuning, getting used to whatever it is, and you're excited to get back home to Ryland, where you can properly investigate this stone.
Does it seem to continue to be pulling from me, or am I finding more of a neutral pull?
It's still pulling.
Okay. So as that happens, I'm just going to continue to incant appear on, and continue to just focus my efforts on the push and the pull of the rock.
And we get to more now. At this point, the ones that are drained gain 1 point of their constitution back. Androcles, your strength is fully recovered from shaking off the poison from the plants that you took. They're still in your pouch. You haven't wanted to touch those again. Nope. But the wheels in your head are turning on what you could do with this. As you have been traveling back. So we get up on the second day, and now at this point we should get to the point where you'll get to a ridge where you'll be able to oversee the frozen lake, and at that point I want to introduce a new map.
Okay.
If I can find said new map. Here we go. Alright. So we've discussed this area a good bit, and I finally wanted to give us so here's Ryland in the distance. There's the island in the middle with the frozen lake. We are not quite on this map. We're all in the south side. You're kind of overlooking this area. And as you overlook the area, and as soon as that day kicks over and you're kind of looking down into the valley, Brogan, with your keen eyes, you spot this first on atop your steed. You look over and you notice that the water, and as you're looking in the distance, that the ice seems to be shifting a bit. It doesn't seem to be as thick as it was as when you rode across it. You also notice several things moving about on top of the ice, a lot of things. In the very far distance, you see that it's hard to count, but several dozen things seem to be moving in and out on top of the ice.
Where is this? Like what part? Here or over here?
Here.
Like everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we're farther south than this.
You're way farther south, right? You're down this way. Not quite on the map yet.
Ooh.
Well, I'll definitely relay the news. Be like, I don't think crossing the ice is going to be an option this time. It looks thinner.
Siku, you talk to Siku, and he looks he kind of walks up to you and leaving everything else behind, he looks about. He goes, "We'll have a fight on our hands if we try the ice again. I don't know how stable it is." What do you think?
Man?
Possibly Sarnathians, yes.
We are not in any shape to take them on head on. Is there a way to possibly cross over the ice up where we are right now and avoid them?
No,
on the
the
bank.
water is flowing where you are. It'd be hard to pull the horses and the cart across. We could move up the bank more and find another place that we could cross. Or we could try, there are two paths. We could take to the hills, or we could try to cross here and take the woods.
Could we caulk the wagon and ford the river?
I don't know if we could. If we did that, then we could try. We risk losing.
That was some Oregon Trail humor. Should have went with dysentery. What do you think, Siku? Is there a way to get to Ryland without?
Oh yes, if you go farther up, there's a dock on the north end that we could cross. And you know the dock he's talking about. It's where you came in. It's further north off of the map, but there is a way that cuts over. They've got a bridge further up. So the question's going to be, do you want to basically take the hills and try to get to the bridge, or do you want to try to ford the river here and go through the woods? Or
How many are we talking about, Trevor? On the ice?
a couple of dozen, hard to tell.
Oh.
That's just what we see. Side. I'm of the opinion we go around, go to the ferry.
This is what we like to call choose your own adventure.
The end.
Turn to page 137.
What's the safest route for the Wolfsbane?
The
Obviously,
bridge.
The bridge is the safest route for the Wolfsbane, and I'll suggest that, because if we try to cross the river and something happens to the wagon and we flood, then all of the entire journey will have been for nothing. So I think the safest bet would be to cross over the bridge.
We'll take the hills and stay out of sight of the Sarnathians.
Are the Sarnathians, when I look out, are they all in a similar area, or are they spread out over the entire lake?
It's you remember as you're looking down, this is where you had your encounter before.
Mhm.
They seem to all be in this area here, all around.
What if I were to cause a diversion?
Airball?
Well, I can turn myself invisible, and then I can call forth a daemon to cause them to do battle with this daemon, while you go around over the ice on the other side of the island.
I think that's dangerous.
Not dangerous for me, only for the daemon. Unless, of course, he attacks me, which has happened before.
Andrew, please. What about utilizing your boots?
Oh, I can go I can go through the water. I can go above the water. That's not a problem for me. I'm
Right.
trying to keep our party alive.
Right. I didn't know if maybe you could get to Ryland before us and send help.
He's only got
Like
4 hours though. That's a long trip.
No, I mean, how far away is that ferry? Like, when we're right.
I
here.
didn't know the scale.
Yeah,
What's
its
that?
scale's huge. Yeah, it's miles.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
I still say we take the hills and we go across the bridge. I think it's safest, and I would not risk the Wolfsbane. Let's do what we can to keep it safe. However, going through the hills, we should probably be wary of wolves.
But Seiko goes, I wouldn't worry about the wolves. They won't get anywhere near us with all the wolfsbane.
Okay, good.
I mean, we should be warded against other wolf attacks.
Very well then. In that case, without question, let us take the hills and then go to the bridge.
It will be a slower journey for sure, but probably safest.
We push it.
Of course. And with that, they push forward. Siku goes up to Brogan and he looks up. He goes, keep your eyes out. I have not traveled these hills in quite some time. Older paths. So with Brogan, you kind of stay forward. Vorpai at this point is trying to stay up with you. so the two of you can scout ahead. She has her lance to bear. It's not as tied down as it was over the last couple of days, but the two of you kind of move forward. Androcles, you kind of stay back as kind of almost like a rear guard, holding it, and because you were super focused on getting the Wolfsbane back and protecting that. So the escort quest of getting the wagon or the sleigh back, as you stay back. Waylian is back there, and as Brogan, as you leave, you notice that Waylian is motioning over to you, and it says, "Oh, come." He goes, "Do you want me to go with you? I could keep an eye out."
Waylian, absolutely. I'll take you. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. And with that, he grabs his shield and his morning star, and he jumps up on the back of your horse. And now the three of you, Waylian, Brogan, and Vorpai, ride up and further up, and still keeping the sleigh in sight, but just kind of an advanced scout as you move into the hills. As we begin to journey into the hills, what you see is a lot of fresh snow packed on the ground. As you get into the hills, you see a lot of the snow has just kind of fallen. It's kind of collected in the middle as the horses are kind of treading through the snow itself. This is a very different journey that you took here. It is more enclosed, and in some ways it feels safer. Through the hills as you're riding, at this point the sleigh has also moved into the hills as well. Vorpai, she slowly pulls out her sword and kind of points up in the air and goes, that strange star seems to be out again. And in this time, Brogan, you look out and it seems to be a little bit larger than as it was before, but you do still see it kind of hanging over Ryland or hanging over the lake. It's still there. It hasn't fallen. It isn't moving, but it does seem slightly larger.
Almost like it's traveling towards the lake.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But it is
It's definitely closer and lower. Okay.
It's bigger.
Okay.
So, friend Magus, what would you do with all of that star metal? As I look up into the sky.
I would summon as much power as possible, and I would unleash it upon our enemies.
Well, it is always easier to destroy than to
being
create.
invisible and not having anyone, not even know where it's coming from.
What would you
Okay.
create with it?
Yeah.
What would I create with it?
Yes,
Hmm.
that much star metal.
With that much star metal, it's infinite. What I realized is everything that I've known so far are only parlor tricks compared to what's possible.
Certainly.
Kingdoms could be built, rebuilt. Your whole civilization could be powered by the power of the energy that comes from that. It could be harnessed.
Perhaps we could build a floating kingdom. We could use it to journey to the stars, to the other planets, my friend.
Someone has touched that already, and
Let us find out who, and let us find out how, so that we may do so as well.
the fact that you have already experienced the keys to opening what has come before us, most likely Atlantean, tells me that we are on the right path. Not of discovery, but of rediscovery.
Well,
And that,
remember, my friend, on that planet, we found not only the remains of Atlanteans, but also Nasaeans? N-A-S-A? There was some rune upon their garb. It was a planet, a strange blue planet with strange letters. I could not read them entirely, but a strange, very bulky white costume and a very large bowl-shaped helmet with a golden cracked shell, almost like an egg. It's a very strange garb that they wore. But again, I will do my best to recreate this story for you, and I'll draw it out as basically I'm just telling the story about
As
the
you're traveling,
planet and making sure that he knows everything that we.
I wonder if this garb had anything to do with the pull. Did you recognize any push or pull of energy as you were on this other plane?
Not so much a push or pull of energy as it was the difference in temperatures. However, the greatest threat to us were the laser beam shooting flying creatures that destroyed the humanoids that were on the planet. And again, I'm going to give that description of the humanoids that were there. You know what? Since we're traveling, I will recreate what we saw with Phantasm. I'll cast Phantasm, and then that way I'll give him a visual image of the humanoids that we saw, the flying laser one-eye thing that we saw, and how it shot it. And then off in the distance, the big, massive Cthulhu-looking thing that was actually like spreading the eggs, almost like Fantasia. So I'm going to recreate it for you, Magus, to light your imagination on fire. So you'll see everything.
All
All right.
Read or seen anything like this. I must experience it myself. This is
All right. I just got over having nightmares from that. I appreciate it, Darius.
Well, you're up ahead with Vorpai and with Walian, but I'm setting this picture for Hugo and Siku and Magus. I'm letting them know, there is a way to travel to the stars.
Maybe also that vehicle. Maybe also the vehicle we were in.
Absolutely. There's the Atlantean vehicle, and then there was that other vehicle where the two had collided. And so I'm going to use Phantasm, and I'm creating all those different images as we're traveling.
As you're traveling and doing that, Brogan, you're up front with Vorpai, and as Vorpai is kind of keeping a look on this strange fire or whatever it is, the star up in the sky, as she is looking at that, you turn a corner and you immediately stop as Walian goes, "I see it. Do you see it?" And through the fog and through the snow, you look ahead and you see what looks to be the remains of some circular structure between these two hills on this path that you're going through. You look about as you get closer and you see what looks to be like stone ruins of something that's long since decayed and long since gone. But you do see several stones in the middle of this path that are circular. Looks like the original construct was circular. You also see what looks to be a strange wall built into one of the hills off to your right, and then the path continues past this structure.
Okay. I say we wait here and wait for our scholarly friends to catch up. They're going to have a lot more insight into this than we are. What do you think, Vorpai?
Vorpai goes, yes, I'll scout around. And she goes in and she rides around the structure.
So you can go around
it. You can go around it, yeah. She rides around it and she goes, there's no roof. It is caved in. It is open air. And as she calls that out, the sled comes pulling up, and you hear the hooves of crashing behind you of Androcles. As Androcles, you ride up, and you see this as well. You see that looks to be the stone ruins of scattered stone of something that was here long ago, circular in nature, a different build and different construction than you've seen in this area before. It looks very old, and it looks very different than what you see back in Ryland. It doesn't look like this was made by Vikings. There's no timber. This is actually stone cut. As you look and you see the same thing, you see this circular building in ruin. There's no roof. It's completely caved in. But what you do see off to the right is a strange wall that's been carved and stone is placed into a hill to the right, and then the path continues on past this structure.
Francisco, is this part of the former empire of remember the empire that used the elephants?
Oh, the Sonoth, yes. Possibly. We've known of this place before. Hunters have come here in the past, and it's a good place to camp.
Is this wall just a wall directly into the is it a door into the hill?
He looks up and goes, and he looks at the wall and he goes, someone's been here recently. There's some adornments on that wall over there. We don't know why they built that there, and he looks over and he goes, some skulls or something. Possibly a hunter came and cleaned things and left some of the bones.
Just check for possible secret passage of some kind, or...
So you go over to investigate the wall, and as you go and investigate the wall, what you see is you see several skulls laid up here, and it doesn't look like There's a lot of like stained blood on the wall. It's old, but it's not that old. As you look about, and some of the skulls are there, seem to be still kind of meaty. So they're still frozen, but this isn't. These are new. These are fairly fresh. And it is kind of grisly as you're looking over that. Magus, you walk about, and as you look through the structure, you look through and you see that there's a center part of this structure as you walk in. Whatever the circular building was, whether it was a tower or something, you're not quite sure. But as you walk in and you look about, you do see a center point where there seems to be a platform in the middle. In that platform, you look down and you see 3 circles that are kind of offset touching. And in the middle of those 3 circles, you see the statue of a woman. It's very strange, and as you look over, you're not exactly sure. It looks somewhat familiar, but it's not something that has ever piqued your interest in study. You're not quite sure what it is. What interests you is the circles down below, because it almost looks like an astronomy map.
Right. So I'm going to make an etching of it.
As you look at the circles, it looks like it's Saturn, Phobos, and Serene.
Androcles, look.
And Androcles, you leave the grisly wall of whatever that is, and you walk over and you see what he sees. He sees this pedestal that this statue is sitting on. You recognize the statue. It's a religious statue. The carving. It's a god that is. It's a moon god. It's you believe. Some people call this Serene, and another word for her is Lunaqua.
Aqua?
Lunaqua.
Aqua.
As we're talking, just as a quick FYI, Raptantis is released and begins to feed on the rest of the meat off of the skulls.
Sure. Yeah, it just goes and cleans. It's a free meal. Raptantis, your Archaeopteryx, flies over and with his reptilian beak kind of pulls up and kind of uses his feathers and claws to kind of rip in and starts chewing on the remains of whatever, the juicy insides of those skulls.
If he jumps about on that rock eating off of those skulls, I kind of keep one eye looking on it because I just want to see what happens when he interacts with that rock and that wall. Does anything happen at all?
No, not at all.
So
Okay.
the stone that's here, is this, you said it was a different age. Is it possibly the same age as like the stone ruins from the way station? Like if I say Haquishka Lanaqua, does anything happen?
You say that and you look around and nothing happens.
Okay, no problem.
It's worth a shot. As you look about and you see these stonework, the stonework seems similar to the stonework that you saw in the ruins on the island that you camped on the way here.
Island. Okay.
Here,
With the Sonoquans?
you camped here on the way in.
Let's investigate.
Where you buried the other Atlantean.
Yes, where I buried the other. So Sarnathian.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, let's see if there's some kind of a secret pedestal or maybe secret.
You push
Can
about
you
it and you
move-
start looking
can you
around
move
and
it?
everything.
Does
Huh?
the dial turn at all, or is there anything that we
You
can
all start working on that now. Brogan, when you walk in, you've saddled your horse, and Brogan, what all are you carrying on you? Because you're still, I mean, you've got your armor and your sword. Do you leave everything else on the horse?
Like when I get down.
Yeah, I'm just
Investigate?
curious because you're
Yeah.
still drained. Okay, so you just
I
got
wouldn't be lugging
you,
like my lance or anything.
I mean,
yeah.
keep
So
the
you leave
bow.
the lance and everything like that.
The bow on you, the bow of the bow of Apollo.
Yeah, I have the bow. Yeah.
Okay, so you keep the bow and you've got your sword and your armor as you walk in. As you walk in, and Walian stays behind and is putting all the horses together. Androcles, your horse as well. All the horses are together with the cart off to the side. You walk in, and as soon as you see Lanaqua, you immediately stop and put your hand on your blade and start looking about because you know something about Lanaqua that obviously no one else here does. Lanaqua is the moon god and is worshipped by Lycans.
Ooh, okay. I will. Hey guys, this goddess here is the goddess of werewolves.
It's a moon god, but werewolves, Lycans, they definitely worship her.
It makes sense. Perhaps this is where this is a den.
And when you say that, Siku goes, we've never had problems in the past, and if it is, they won't come anywhere near with all the wolfsbane we have. In fact, we can pull it up in our camp and put it right in.
Yes,
Probably
let's do
a
that.
really good idea.
Okay, so
We'll plant some here too.
Yeah, Siku and Hugo go, and they go grab some of the wolfsbane and kind of set it around camp as they set the fire. And you can see other people have come through here and set fires before. This, what Siku is telling you is true. Other people have camped here, and they're getting ready. And he says, now, at first light, we should be able to make a dash through the hills, and with any luck, we could by tomorrow night reach the bridge. But we will need our rest. It'll be a hard journey, a drive.
Understandable. Very well. Since I've got first watch, I'd like to go ahead and spend that time trying to figure out if there's any way to get into or under the. I don't know if there's any kind of secret passage or anything like that. I mean, we're in ruins.
Right. So you go about and you start. We're not quite to watches yet. We're at the point where everyone's like sitting around and eating and all that kind of thing and just kind of resting.
I'll help him look. I'll help him look.
All right. So you two go and you look about. Now, one of the things that you notice as you're looking about is over there close to that stone wall, there are other bones that seem to be chewed on and gnawed on as you look about, which kind of tracks with what else you've already heard. And one thing that you do notice as you're looking about is that there are footprints in the snow and things that aren't that old. You're not really good at that. That was something that your old friend Dracon would have been really good at. But as you look about this, you're like, these seem somewhat fresh. Large wolf prints.
Wolf prints. Ask Siku. He's the greatest.
Siku, he goes over and he goes, 2, maybe 3 days.
All right. Okay, but the wolfsbane should keep them away for now.
I think we'll be safe here. Yes.
Right.
And as you do that, Brogan, you have like this cold like shiver go down your neck, and as you do that, you look over, and Walian kind of sits up as well, like he sensed it too, and Walian goes and he grabs his morning star and he begins to look about, and he goes, Brogan, cold wind, did you feel it?
Yeah, I'm gonna detect evil.
You detect evil, and from the north in front of you, the path that you have not tread on yet, you do sense an evil pretty close.
Lively. There's something horrible ahead of us in the path.
And when you say that, Vorpai, she stands up and she looks over to Walian and says, Walian, get my steed. And Wayland goes, of course. And he puts the Morning Star back on his belt, and he starts running over as quietly as he can to get Vorpai's steed. And as he runs quietly to do that, he passes by. And now off to the side here, Androcles and Magus, you look and you see the boy running over to get the horse quickly. And the two of you both look about. You look back inside the ruins because you can see right through some of these. There's a lot of cracks in the stone. You see Brogan standing up and pulling out his blade, and you see Vorpai doing the same.
All right, I look to Magus and I say, "Danger is afoot."
All right, so everyone's got a round here.
I'm gonna put my hands on the metal in my bag.
Okay.
And go ahead and do my invisibility.
Okay. And as soon as Androcles says that, you just disappear.
I'm going to go ahead and click my heels 3 times.
You click your heels 3 times and begin floating above the ground as the spectral wings from your boot, they spur out, and you are just a few inches over. And for the next several hours, we'll have the ability to walk on wind. And with that, Brogan, what would you like to do?
Call me Scott.
I'm gonna also get atop my steed.
All right, so you're as Vorpai is holding and waiting for her steed, you take a step back and start moving towards your steed. As you begin moving towards your steed, you hear a large thump in the distance, and then followed by another large thump in the distance. You look over and you see cresting through the fog, something very large is moving towards the camp, much larger than anything that you anticipated. And with that, chat, let's get those odds ready. Let's see. We gotta change up the music. We gotta see what's coming. All right, so we're going to move over to a map, so let me set the scene. So with this, where we are right now is Androcles, you are slightly hovering above the ground. Magus, you look back, you quickly instinctively cast invisibility. Raftontix is perched up on the rock, the wall beside you. We have Vorpai up front with her long sword and her shield in front. And Brogan, you were moving back away from her. You were just at her side. You've moved through the ruins, heading towards your horse. Walian is in front of you, as well as Siku and Hugo are all in the back as well, as they're all moving back. Now, in the distance, what we see thundering and thumping through the trees is this massive beast that is beyond comprehension. Androcles, with your slightly elevated views, you see this first as this 10, 12, maybe even a 14-foot elephant starts charging through the path. And as it gets closer, you see both bone and flesh ripped from the sides of this elephant as it's running through with this giant tusk leaning forward as it's charging into the area. And with
mammoth?
that,
It's an undead mammoth or an undead elephant?
Oh, it is what we have been calling the Helephant.
Oh my gosh!
The Barbarian.
What is that?
This is what we created in Discord the other day with the community, was the Helephant. So as the elephant is running into camp,
That is really cool.
this is what we did. You can blame some of the guys in Discord for this.
Oh my gosh, the dead corpse on the bottom leg. Oh,
is that art not great? This is one of those times where you just find art and you're like, that's an encounter. All right.
Wow.
All right. So let's get our Helephant as he's coming in. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. All right. Let me go pull him up over here.
Danny.
Like it. It's me a bonus.
I know. I'm saying.
It gives me a bonus.
Yeah.
It's
Hugo!
funny. The bard's
Pick up
like,
Hugo.
crap, it's undead. And the paladin's like, yes, it's undead. So let's get initiative going as this thing is running in. So what we're going to do is I need some announcements on what everyone is planning on doing, because the way that combat works is we go melee, missile, magic. So you have to go ahead and announce what your intent is, then we roll the initiative and everything kind of plays out. So with this happening right now, what is, Androcles, what is your intent as this is coming in?
My intent.
Are you gonna melee, missile, or magic?
Missile.
Okay, so you're pulling out your glaive. All right, Brogan, what is your? Are you melee? You're going for the horse.
I'm gonna run to my horse.
All right, so you're running for the horse, and then finally down, Magus, what is your?
Magic.
Magic. Okay. All right. So now let's roll initiative. Androcles, you roll. So now when you say magic, you have to cast a spell. You don't have to determine what the spell is, but you do have to cast a spell when it gets to your turn. All
I'm
right.
summoning the Daemon 2.
Oh, well, you just wait. Things may change. I rolled a 2. And with that, what does... Ooh. Heroes knew it was coming. So with that, we're going to go through what everyone already announced. And what will happen now is Brogan, since you are running, you will run towards the horse. So 5, 10. You can definitely get in and on the horse, and that'll be your turn. As you get there, Walian meets you and helps you get the lance, and now you have your lance. So you and Walian, he basically helps you up and gets you this, and he looks up and he says, "Go, Apollo will guide you, sir." And he reaches over and he touches your leg, and he's like trying to bless you as he's like holding this as that's what he's trying to do. With that, we go to Androcles.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vorpai. Vorpai is going to she sees what's coming. She's going to make a run for that horse. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. She can actually run all the way to here. She's just running for the horse. Siku is going to pull out the spear and get a defensive stance in front of Wayland. Hugo is going to go off to the side. We'll get to Hugo in a second. Androcles, you're up.
I'm going to do what I can to prevent the elephant from charging the group. So I'm going to come over here
Or flying.
I know
You
I'm
are
flying,
flying.
but I'm going to come over here. I'm going to attack it. I'm going to throw the glaive at it twice. I want to get it to turn towards me so they can get it in a cross charge. So that
Okay.
like they'll be able to run up.
Okay.
I'm going to have it come at me.
Okay. All right. So you're going to move to now. Here's the thing. If you're going to throw the glaive twice, you can't move.
And I'm going to move once. I'm going to move and then throw it once.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to
Go to here and move. All right. Throw it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna stay to where I'm just out of the range. I don't know what the range is yet. I mean, if it reaches up and pulls down a
It's
tusk,
got a big range.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I'm basically it's to prevent it from charging into this and just killing my.
You're trying to taunt it off to the side.
Yes.
I hear you. All right. Make your attack. 18. That will absolutely hit. I don't have to look at the matrix or anything. Roll your D4 plus your damage. Womp womp.
So.
Hey, we will take it.
What matter?
We will take it.
Oh, wait, and I'm going to inspirit my crew.
Of course.
I'm going to inspire them. So 2 rounds from now.
Gotcha. All right, so you fly off to the side as you're skywalking with your boots, and you pull out the glaive. It sings through the air. It cuts part of the flesh of this elephant as it cuts off to the side. It's not a mammoth. It is definitely an elephant. It's just a really big elephant. As it cuts across this, and then you look over and you see your friends are all kind of starting to muster. You call upon a heroic tale of old. And as we do that, now we will move to Hugo. Hugo makes a step forward. He gets a rock into his sling and slings across and fires his Bronze Age weapon at the the elephant and misses. And the rock sails off into the distance. With that, we now go to let's see. We go to the magic. With that, we go to Magus.
David.
I begin to summon the daemon, which is going to take a turn. And when I start to do this, I'm invisible, so no one sees it, but I'm beginning to enchant, and I have my hand on one of the pieces of star metal, and then I begin moving my hands about in such a way, and again, it begins to make me violently ill.
All right, roll a d6. Let's see what you get.
Was the Longhorn.
Ex-girlfriend.
It's making me physically ill as I pull it forth, because I'm having to summon it and speak these Hyperborea type words, and it just makes me physically ill. I begin to throw up.
So you don't see, you just hear it, and you just hear the vomit hitting the ground.
Yes, Invisivomit.
If invisible vomit spills on your shoes, does it show up?
Yeah, when I show back up, it does for sure.
All right.
She looked
Also,
so tiny.
With that, since we're still in the heroes rounds, Walian, who had helped Brogan up on the steed, he finishes his prayer to Apollo, and as he does that, he says, "Apollo, bless him with the vision to strike his mighty foe." And as he does that, Brogan, you look up and you see a clarity of the path that you need to take, of 3 different possibilities of where you could go. And with that, you feel the blessing of Apollo flowing from this young child.
Whoa.
It's not a paladin, but Walian is a cleric of Apollo?
He's
Whoa!
a paladin, is what he is.
Oh,
He's
that's
a
cute.
paladin.
A paladin.
He's a true
Paladin.
pal. He's a pal.
Yeah, he's a paladin. Okay.
Is a paladin. All right, and with that,
Paladin.
it is now the Helephant's turn. The Helephant is going to attack the one person that hit them. It's going to charge up and reach up with its tusk and try to bat down Androcles out of the sky.
Armor class is a 5.
I gotcha. Armor class is a 5. All right, so
I'm
let's
gonna get
roll.
hit. It's gonna hurt. Oh!
Ooh.
We got Vorpie. We got Vorpie, Vomit. Now Bob is about to be Vittles. This is great.
Well, I was due.
I don't think I've hit you in a long time.
He needs to live.
Take
I've got
8
to get to
points
that
of
star.
bludgeoning damage from the tusk as it reaches up and just smashes you with the tusk.
Does it get any pluses?
-1 because I got 1 point of damage reduction.
You do have damage reduction, so it takes 7. It's going to reach up and try to bash you again with its tusk.
Full attack. Gotcha.
You dodge that one. The first one knocks you back, and as you're reeling from that first attack of just getting battered by the tusk, it rears his head again, and he misses you. With that, a second one comes charging around this way.
What? Oh no!
The only thing worse than one elephant is duo elephants. Dos elefantes. As it starts running around and moving about. As that happens, we now get to a new round of initiative. Before we do that, everyone announce what they're going to do. Missile Magic Melee.
Magic.
Melee or melee?
It's always the same. Melee goes first, then Missile, then Magic. But you have to go ahead and announce what you're going to do.
Melee, broken.
Melee.
Vomit.
Vomit.
Missile.
Missile. Okay. And then are we going to Magic or something else? The real decision here, I think, is for Magus.
Could I call another one?
If you have another spell slot, you could, yes. Okay. Now, do you have another one of those memorized, or are you going to use the Pearl?
The Pearl.
All right, so you use the Pearl to copy a spell you've already cast today, because you've already cast 2 level 2 spells. You cast Invisibility, then Summon, then you pull the Pearl to copy a spell you've already cast today, and you begin summoning another. With this, roll another D6. Actually, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Just wait.
It's too late. My hands are on
Here's
the
the
dice.
thing. No, stop. Here's the thing. All you're saying is you're casting a spell. You may change your mind once we get to you, but you have to cast a spell. So now with this, we're going to roll a D6. I'm going to roll, then Danny's going to roll. I roll a 2. Danny's rolling for the team.
Yeah.
Team goes first. With that, Brogan, you're first.
All right. So with these paths that show up in front of me, it's from my boy,
Yeah,
Alien.
From your pal.
It shows like the most optimal one.
correct.
Take.
So basically what happens here
Correct.
is on this attack, you get to roll 3 D20s and take the highest.
What?
He cast Omen.
Nice.
What?
Even better than.
Right.
Man, that's great.
So
That
as I
little
run,
kid
as I
cast Omen?
charge, I'm going to tell Wayland, take BG and get as far away as possible, and only fight if you must.
Of course, and with that, he grabs the backpack with BG in it, and then with that, you run forward with your lance. All right, so set up your lance attack on the elephant and roll 3 D20s.
Holy.
Jack this thing up, dude. Yes, 19s.
19, 3, 19. So we'll take the 19. Now roll your damage. So it's going to be 2. It's a D10 for the lance because you're on a heavy warhorse. It's doubled, so it's 2D10. And then it is also a righteous charge, a righteous wrath. So you get +4 for that, plus your strength bonus. So I think we figured out the math is plus and your strength. So strength is 1, 4.
Strength is 2.
It's 2, so 6. Okay, so it's 2D10 plus
10
6.
plus 6.
18.
Oh, I'm
All right, so you charge on your horse, on your mighty steed. We'll put it right behind you. As you charge in, you grab that lance. You skewer all the way through it. Let me check and see where.
I go past it.
Yeah, you tear through the leg, and yeah, you can move past it. Right.
Oh yes.
Is this the mighty steed syphilis?
No,
That's yours.
I move like over
I have
here.
Bucephalus.
Eucephalus.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, you can do that. So you
I
can
didn't know
basically
how
hit it
far.
and just keep going. Okay. So you hit it with a lance, and you keep going. As the tip of the lance goes, it lights up with the light of Apollo as you skewer the side of this thing. You cripple one of the backs of its legs as it snaps off the back of its leg as you kind of pull the lance through. And as you look back, you hear thundering hooves as just behind you, Vorpai is setting up her attack as well.
Nice. Very nice.
She's half dead.
It was a 20.
Oh man.
Hang on, she might still hit. Let me see.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Pierce
I'm
the
right there where
pachyderm.
it attacked me. Am I giving any kind of flanking bonuses?
No, she just misses.
Right.
She just misses.
Mediocre.
But she comes up behind you. All right. With that, Siku grabs Wayland, and Wayland kind of steps back with BG. He grabs the spear. He sets the spear to accept a charge as this other elephant is moving forward. And with that, it is now missile. So Androcles, you're up.
Okay. Since I'm in the air, I'm going to attack it twice. Pew pew.
Okay.
Hold on a second. That would be nice, but 1d20. Yes.
17.
Second attack.
4. So the first one hits. So I roll a d4 plus
1d4 plus 2.
5
point.
Okay. All right. With that, we go to the other missile. Hugo is going to step into between these rocks here, and he's going to hide behind the rocks. He's basically he's trying to hide. With that, we go to Magus. You are now casting your second spell. Roll a d6 and see what you get.
Oh.
So you've cast Invisibility as a second level spell. You've cast Summon Daemon 1 as a first level spell. And now you're going to use the Pearl to summon another Daemon 1. Roll your
Correct.
d6 and see what the other Daemon is.
Oh!
Another one!
Yes.
So
Okay.
sick. So sick.
And you're still invisible. With that, this thing is going to charge forward and attack the elephant. Roll a d20 for me, Magus.
All right.
It misses. Okay.
Yeah.
But you're still summoning. And with that, that's going to be the end of our round. So now it is the elephant's turn. This elephant here is going to take a tusk and attack one of the little thing that's just right in front of it. And annihilate it with a tusk. Okay. It's dead. It basically just blows this thing up in front of you. You just see like blood and bile go everywhere. It then starts moving towards. He's going to take a step and turn and try to hit
What?
Vorpai.
What's dead?
The first Daemon that you summoned.
Alas, poor Damon. I knew him well.
He's going to turn and try to hit Vorpai as she's like she's pulling the horse around to try to get another round.
Oh,
Natural 20.
Oh, shield maiden.
She's going to sacrifice her shield.
She has 2. I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a crit. So she's
The
going to
Cataphracts
sacrifice her shield to negate the attack.
Yes. That's
To
perfect.
keep her in a steady
I mean,
supply
I
of
think,
shield.
I think someone would do that if they were facing a elephant.
Right? Yeah. She throws her shield up. The tusk hits her shield, and the shield just explodes under the weight of the tusk. She grabs her arm and pulls back.
Unless the elephant is trying to step on her, in which case it just acts more as a cookie cutter.
Right. With that, this elephant is going to make a charge, running over the rocks, and is going to run towards Siku. Siku is set to charge and lands it. Okay. The spear goes into first of the elephant. It stops him as he's basically got the end of the spear pulled down, so he's not going to get trampled. The elephant will run its tusk and try to hit Siku. The first attack misses, and then it comes down for the second attack. It also misses as he dodges out of the way of both attacks. With that, new round. Let's all announce what we're doing.
Magic.
Inspire goes off this round, just so you know.
Inspired, so we're now inspired in this round. And Brogan, you're going to go melee, we're going to do missile, and you're going to cast another spell. This is easy.
Yes.
We got this. All right, let's roll initiative. Magus, roll initiative. Elephant's going on a 6. 2. All right, so elephants are going first. This elephant is going to continue to attack Vorpai, who's right next to her. So this is the first attack, and that will be a miss. And then the second attack coming down on Vorpai will be a hit, and Vorpai will take 10 minus 1 for damage reduction, so she will take 9 points of damage.
Where's the damage reduction come from? Is that from Bob?
Armor.
Okay. What does Bob? What does yours do?
You have a bonus of +1 to hit and damage for you guys.
Okay. Vorpai takes the hit. She somehow holds on to the reins of her horse as she kind of pulls down and pulls herself back up as she begins to kind of move away from the elephant. The elephant down here at the bottom is going to rear back and try to kill Siku. Natural 1, folks.
See that critical miss.
The table.
Let's
Cool,
pull
man.
it up.
My
Let's see what we
favorite.
did. Let's see what we did. Yeah, rolled a 12. He hit himself. Still impaled by the spear. It goes and rears. The tusk hits its own leg, and he will do 3d4 damage to himself. He takes 6 points of damage. That's the first time we've seen that. Fortunately, he gets another attack. Let's hope that doesn't come into play again. That's gonna hit. That's gonna hit Siku. Siku's gonna take 6. Siku is okay. He takes it. He gets knocked to the ground. All right, so he's on the ground. Now it is melee. So now it's Brogan. It's your turn. Now, if you want to set up another attack, it'll take your whole round to kind of set up another attack. So basically, now are you wanting to like set up for this one down here or this one up here?
Probably be better to just drop the lance, wouldn't it, and with the sword.
If you want to drop the lance and basically run up and try to hit him with your two-handed sword, you can. Guiding the horse with your knees.
That'd be would that still be 2 attacks?
No, just 1.
Okay. We're gonna then I'm going to ride this way to this one.
Okay, so you're going to set up the next attack. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're running. You're steeding around. Vorpai is going to do the same. She's going to take your lead on that. And then with that, that's our... Oh, no, Siku is going to go. He's going to make his attack with his spear. This will be his first attack. That will miss. And then he gets his second attack with his spear, and that will also miss. So he's just like jabbing at it and missing. Walian is going to run up next to him and pull out his Morning Star and attack the elephant. And Walian hits, ladies and gentlemen. Walian connects.
Walian is Wayland.
Yeah, so here's a D8 from Walian. Max damage Walian.
Woo!
Okay, and with that, we move forward, and we've got that was melee. Now missile. Androcles, you're up.
Okay. Can I fly directly above the elephant?
You can.
Attack it?
You can. If you want to fly up higher, get out of range, and just throw the thing down, you get 1 attack, but stay away from it. Okay, go for it.
But I'll take the high ground.
But you're going to take the high ground, and you will get a bonus to your attack. So make your attack.
I mean, as the Skywalker, I'm going to.
You do get a +1 for being on the high ground. It's on the chart.
Okay, good. D20.
throwing the glaive. He's
It's a natty one, folks.
Oh no!
It's a natty one.
doesn't he?
He's not used to flying. It's okay.
He's
he has air
not.
sickness. He has air sickness.
Roll a d12. What do we got?
No, nobody sees this.
D12.
I,
No! He hit himself. As you fly up, you throw it down. It clips your
Stop
foot.
hitting yourself.
Roll a
Stop
d4
hitting-
plus 2.
It's not a boomerang.
You kidding me?
6 max damage as you slice your foot in twain. Oh, God.
Wow.
What's your health at now?
Well, I'm gonna take.
3?
Do I get damage reduction for myself or no?
You do. You take 1 damage reduction.
Thank God. All right. In that case,
4?
5. I think that's 5. I'm at.
Chris, are you okay?
I'm
Frozen?
just doing math. I'm
You just
sick.
did
20. 20. I've just taken 12 points of damage, half of which was from me. Jeez.
Hey,
Okay, they didn't see it. The
How
only
much
one that-
health?
the
How
only
much
one that
health
was
do you have
me.
left?
Those damn flying boots.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Skywalker.
All right, with that we go
High
to
ground.
How many hit points are you at?
I
20.
missed something. Hugo is going to come up behind the elephant and pull out his short sword and stab the elephant.
There he is.
That will count as a backstab,
Yeah.
and he'll do 5 points of damage.
Not bad. Is he also inspired?
Oh, he is. He is inspired.
Hey, I'm just trying to milk every point of
Like, give him
damage.
that extra point. I'll take it.
That also means you take an extra point of damage too, Bob.
Oh.
No, it does. Does it work? It doesn't work for missiles. The damage bonus isn't for missiles, right?
Oh, it's not. It's only for melee.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
God.
Me and Bob, we're about to never talk again.
All right, now we're at magic. All right, so what's the next magic trick for Androcles? Oh, also this thing is going to run up. So what spell are you casting?
I'm going to. I've still got the. Can I use it? I can't do another daemon, can I?
How many do you have memorized? 1.
Yeah.
Then you've used 2, so you can't do another daemon.
Then after this, I'm just going to use my throne dagger. I'm
You
gonna
have
move
because
over.
you said magic. You have to cast a magic.
You're right. You're right. I am that bad player that wasn't prepared.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Well, I threw this new. We're trying to get into.
Yeah, I'll do burning hands. What the hell?
All right, so
Yeah.
you're gonna run up and try to burning hands this thing. Which one? The one attacking the party
I'm
in the
gonna
back?
go help. I'm gonna go help the youngins over
Okay.
here.
All right. So you run up. You become visible as you pull out the stone. You cast the burning hands. You call upon the flames of Barsoon. As you pull the magic of the stone out and the flame gets out, it completely engulfs the elephant, and the elephant kind of stumbles back and falls to the ground as the fire you're just standing over the body of this thing, burning it with the stone as the stone just continues just to pour out the flame, and you down the elephant.
What?
Nice.
Wow,
To appear out of nowhere, Magus.
that's amazing. What about my daemon?
Make an attack roll.
Is it one of those like worm things from last time?
It's got legs.
What?
He got the bigger one. Roll a
Mhm.
d6.
Thank you. I just had the class 1. Sorry. All right.
This is
D6.
still a class 2. It's basically like the slugs with these little legs running around. Yeah. Roll. Yeah.
Well, actually, this one's a class 3. I rolled a 6. Boom!
Wow. So this
Yes.
thing runs up, and it
Yes.
jumps up, and it grabs the jaw of the beast as it just like the tusk of the daemon grabs and it as it pulls down, the head of this thing snaps off, and the elephant falls apart.
Yes.
Wow. Now I have a 1 in 6 chance that it turns on us.
Roll a
Oh.
d6. Roll high.
Turns on you.
Okay, it did not turn on you. Not yet. All right, with that, it's a new round. Both of the elephants are dead. The little daemon thing is still going. Androcles, you look down and you see this thing like kind of gnawing around on the elephant. Brogan, you and Vorpai come running around on the horses as you see the scene of Magus standing above him, just like burning him down. And with that, I think this is a good place to pause and stop the game. We'll go ahead and pick up next week right here. We'll say that we fell the daemon, so there's not a problem with it. Who's going to do the deed of killing the daemon? All right, you're flying above it. You throw the glaive down twice and kill it. As you look about, you don't see any more undead, but Androcles, as you look in the distance, you do see that fallen star, that meteor, that comet, has gotten bigger and somewhat closer.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a bad omen.
And with that, we will pick up next week. Actually, it's going to be 2 weeks because I'm off next week. But when we pick up next time for episode 12, we'll pick up right here at the camp as we just felled the beast, the two elephants, and we'll pick up next time. With that, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We'll pick up next time for episode 12.